What's good, yo? What's good? Back in the motherfucking building. Second episode of the night. Regular Speak Ya Clout time. It's Speak Ya Clout Podcast. Your boy Mike Sears with my right hand man, Vol Crack in the motherfucking building.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Yeah. And today we're reviewing Compton's Most Wanted's third album, Music to Driveby. It turned 30 years in September. Came out the same day as a great fucking rock album I love. Alice in Chains Dirt and Stone Temple Pilots Cold. What a day that was.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
30 years for all those. So, yeah, CM Dub, man, MC8, DJ Slip. The Chill is absent on this album. On our top 10 MC8 songs, we combine the CMW tracks too. We already talked about how we got into them then, but I would say this is like my first album from them I had on cassette, and the album that my uncle played like crazy, and I would eventually get the other two later on in life. Do you know when this came into your life, Rose? Is this the first one you heard? Or?
No, this would have been the second one, I believe. The first one I got into with was Straight Checking Them. But before that, I would have gotten into 8 through We Come Strapped.
Oh, what introduction that is.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Compton's Most Wanted, Music to Driveby, their third album, man. Would it be not their last? They had other shit, right? Like,
yeah, they had like an album in like 2000, I think, and a few others. They did it was just 8 and Chill on the cover. They did one called Gangsta Business that came out in 2019. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. Like yeah, 8's one of those guys who, like, you know, in the 2000s kind of not that great and then he disappeared for a long time, but like all of the, like most of the recent stuff that I've heard by him, really good, you know. He's definitely on like a nice resurgence in the last 5 years or so.
I love MC8, and I don't give a fuck. I'm fanboying out. I was like, he went live one time on Instagram, and I said, "Yo, 8, we're doing top 10 songs for you on our podcast." Like, salute Mike Sears with the Cali accent. I just thought that was dope as fuck. He said my name, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, he has one of the dopest voices for sure.
I know this is a nigga that, you know, on Menace says AWACS, bro. Come on.
Yep. Yeah. Ryder and GTA San Andreas.
Ryder, thank you. I worship that game, as you already know. We both do.
Yeah.
So yeah, CMW means a lot to me. 8 means a lot to me. Let's get right to it. Compton's Most Wanted, Music to Driveby. The intro, some like mafia-like music being played. It's very short, not much to say, but we talk about every track on here. So yeah, it's very short, but dope kind of feel to start the album.
Yeah, I like it a lot. You know, it's only 20 seconds, but it's a real nice way to kind of kick things off. You know, kind of eerie, kind of spooky sounding kind of production to kick things off, and yeah, it really kind of sets the scene. I like it a lot.
Fuck yeah! Then we get the official first track of the album, actual song, "Hit the Floor."
Oh, banging!
No, straight out the gate, 8 starts spitting that gangster shit. Talks about keeping it straight raw, I'm not selling out. So hit the floor when I cock the gap. Blood's going to spill when I rat-a-tat-tat. Just a short but sweet raw joint. I love it. Hit the floor sets off things lovely. Great track for me.
Yeah, it's a great track. Again, it's a pretty short one. It kind of feels like an intro track still, but like, yeah just what a, you know, bang away to kick off the album. Definitely a lot more kind of you know, up tempo compared to a lot of the other songs in this album, you know, but yeah, it just comes out swinging on this track, you know. You know, some want me to stop with the violence. Some say take a code of silence, but then you'll get the motherfucking middle finger because it ain't no rap pop singer, you know. I just love that, you know, just him saying, you know, even if you take my guns and shit, or, you know, want me to, you know, calm down on the gangster stuff, you know, he's still, you know, gonna be raw and rugged. And yeah, just it's a great song. Yeah, pretty violent on there too. And yeah, it's just a great song. Very ignorant, so, you know, I got the mind of a lunatic and I'll fuck you quit so you can suck a fat dick, you know what I mean? Just his delivery, just he's one of those guys. I love his voice. And by the way, I don't think we planned this, but, you know, two weeks ago we did the Mugs album. And of course, on that KRS one, next week we reviewed Criminal Minded, and then the week after we reviewed Compton's Most Wanted. 8 is on that Mugs album as well. It's kind of funny how that worked out. But yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, not playing.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, it's a great way to kick off the album, Hit the Floor. Not to be confused with the song Hit the Floor, which was on his Last Man Standing album with Daz. That song, yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. Just a little sidebar. I don't like it when artists like use the same name of their song again.
Yeah, there's quite a few I could think that do that shit too.
Yeah, I mean this isn't as bad because technically this is like Compton's Most Wanted. It's technically different, but Scarface also did that. He has 2 songs called One, so that's kind of annoying. Yeah,
my favorite song probably from him.
Oh, from the Diary. Yeah,
yeah, fucking worship that shit. All right, next we get a banger single. Love the song so much. Classic Hood Took Me Under. Absolutely one of my favorite songs of all time within any genre. MC8 tells a tale of growing up in the hood, being a victim of his surroundings, that now I'm a few ages older. Got hair in my nuts and I'm a little bit bolder. I'm putting in work, have to play my fucking part. I'm down for the hood and it's planted in the heart. Fool. I just, the way he says that shit.
Yeah.
So hard. His presence on the mic is amazing. At school, slapping earn the girls' asses. Fuck the white education, so I skip a lot of classes. I fucking love that shit, man. He kills that shit. Just the way he pronounces words and shit as well. That pop drops a sucker. If he's from another hood, I have to shoot the motherfucker. So fucking good. I love everything about this song. Amazing storytelling and production from Mike T. This song is so fucking good. Getting blunted with my nigga Ray Hector. R.I.P. to my nigga Hector. Hold your head, Ray. Playing San Andreas. You know, that playing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Ray Los Santos. Incredible, bro. I love it.
Yeah, I love this song, too. It's my favorite song on the album. It's probably the most famous song that those guys ever did. But, yeah, it's absolutely iconic, incredible track. I love the beat on here. Uses that Isaac Hayes sample, and this is another example of where the single version is a bit different from the album version, but I like the album version better. It's darker.
Yes.
It's a little bit slower, but I like that. It just kind of fits the atmosphere and the vibe of the track a lot better. And I just love all the lines on here. Just so many quotables on this song. I love, towards the end on the third verse, he says, so I loads up my strap and I step because my brain cells are dead and all I think is death. Revenge, yeah, that's what it's all about. See the sucker, take the motherfucker out. Oh, so good. It's just such a vivid sort of portrayal and that kind of gang mentality right there. And Compton's Most Wanted, they always got compared to NWA, like always, but I think that's so unfair because they were so different. You know what I mean?
Unfair, yeah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love NWA, but like all their stuff, a lot of their stuff was more kind of like raw, like not raw is not the right word, but it was more like ignorant, you know what I mean? It's more like in your face, but this is like this is a smooth song, but it's just as hard, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but like CMW just had their own sound, you know what I mean? And it felt more, in my opinion, more authentic, you know what I mean? That's what it really, to me, this is what it sounds like, that overall kind of gang scene in LA and stuff. That's what, this song is that on Max. That's kind of what I get from it.
Yes.
And it's incredible song, incredible single. And it's my favorite song on the album.
CMW, they put you in Compton. Like I listen to this shit in Fall River, Massachusetts, and I go outside. I want to see palm trees or something. They put you there, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, there's an authenticity that's just not there with most other groups, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's not a slight. It's just these guys were just impeccable at that.
Absolutely, brother. The Ross Hartley way, breaking shit down, lovely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Better than I am at that. I love when he does that shit. All right. Next, we get one of my favorite songs on here. Me and shout out to Mo Lally, want to just talk about this. Jack Mode. Man, I love the beat on here. MC8 talks about straight jacking people for what they got, whether it be your car sounds, or anything worth value. If you don't give it up, it's gonna blow your motherfucking top back. Rob a nigga anthem, dope as fuck. That sample, the production, everything's a fucking 10. I love this fucking song. It's so good. Love it. Classic. Jackmo.
Yeah, I love this. I love this song too. Love the kind of spooky kind of beat. Really fits with the the subject matter. It has that kind of dark streets, kind of paranoid, like looking over your shoulder kind of vibe to perfect for this song. And again, just love it on here. Jay, what does he say towards the start? He says, Jay, you're kind of frightened by the Compton Night Stalker. When I got you by the throat, you better be a fast talker. So
he's saying like he's Richard Ramirez or Compton or something. That's hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's great song. Just just love the overall kind of vibe of it. And again with its kind of lyrics, just so vivid. And you just can picture a lot of his music's very cinematic. That's kind of what I take from it for sure. And Jack Mode, definitely a highlight on the album for me too.
Yeah, love Jack Mode.
Straight Jackie.
Dude, that beat's crazy. Love it. Next we get Compton for Life. Great song as well. MC talking about how things are in the CPT in 1992. Gangbanging and gangbanging and gang-related murders was at a all-time high back then. And one of my favorite lines he ever said is, "Look into the eyes of the 12-gauge barrel. My t-shirt and khakis with my house shoes is the apparel." Mm-hmm. Love that shit. It also talks about Compton having evil-ass bitches, but they keep them around because they're good for setting dudes up and shit. That's some grimy-ass shit, man. Great song. Love it.
Yeah, it's another highlight on the album for me. Just love how dark and menacing this song it sounds, you know what I mean? Definitely one of the darkest kind of sounding songs on the album for sure. And just again, it just makes it sound like, Compton's just, if you're coming here and this is what it's like, don't mess around. This, this is, a lot of crazy stuff going on, but great song. And for me, the production is the highlight for me. But again, It's voice cuts that production so well. He just sounds great over those kind of dark beats. And just simple lines, like it don't mean nothing to us. Ready to bust. 1,000 motherfuckers said we kick up much dust. Like just the way he says those lines, you feel it. It's impactful. I love it. Absolutely. Compton for Life, dope, very dope song.
Fuck yeah! Oh, it's great.
Yep.
Sidebar: what's your favorite CMW album?
Probably this one.
Likewise. Yeah, same. Oof. Next we get 8 Is Enough. Man, dope ass beat. MJ just spitting that raw shit on here. No topic really on here, just some braggadocious shit on here as well. And I love the line. He says, "Into the bitches that got no clout, bring a shovel so it can dig you out." Fire. Get that pussy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't really cool nothing on here, but yeah, it's a dope song.
Yeah, I like the line where he goes, "Saps always do the motherfucking bragging, but fools couldn't light my blunt with a dragon." Like that's pretty
That's
cool.
Hard, yeah.
It's a dope song. Pretty much just kind of like one straight verse over like I don't know how you would put it, kind of like a soulful kind of beat. It's a dope track. It's not like a super highlight for me, but it's dope song still. Definitely enjoy it. And it's another very solid track. It's maybe like I said, maybe not as good as some of the ones that we just heard, but I still like it a lot.
Yeah. Next we get Duck Sick 2. Man, a sequel to Duck Sick off It's a Compton thing.
Mm-hmm.
MC8 flexing his skills on here. Always love the female vocals. You can get the Duck Sick. Always love that. Simple what 8 said, this is hard. He's like, keep talking shit as I bust your motherfucking mouth. It got some bars with DJ Quick on here, which damn half the album, some songs, Hard. Duck Sick 2 was fucking fire. My favorite's the first one, but this shit's fire.
Yeah, I don't know. I like them pretty much equally, I would say. They're pretty similar
Word.
I love the kind of like smooth vibe to the production on this track for sure. Um, yeah, it's kind of creates like a nice contrast between like, MC is clearly pretty pissed on this song and he's laying hard bars, but like the production is smooth. You know what I mean? I really like that. And yeah, it's a dope song for sure. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of tough between this one or the first one, which one I prefer. But yeah, it's a dope track for sure. And yeah, I like the little kind of jabs in there for sure at Quick, even at the end, Gia dropped to your knees because we ain't through. Get a grip, do it quick. The motherfucking ducks, do it quick. It's kind of like a nice, play on words there. But yeah, like when MC it, goes it quick, it usually is like a subliminal like that. It's like a little, you have to kind of pick up on it like that. But yeah, it's a dope song. Really like the kind of smooth feel to it. And yeah, it's another very dope song on the album.
Fuck yeah. Then we get Dead Man Tell No Lies. Love the beat. So hard. They talking about dealing with enemies on here, backstabbers. Got some balls of Quick again on here. Joy is hard, man. Love it. Dope track.
Yeah, the beat for me on this reminds me of like, it sounds like they've sampled like some like 70s kind of rock or something, like that guitar kind of samples what they used on there.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, and it's funny. We'll mention Rap a lot shortly with the next track, but it also this song reminds me of like something that the Rap a Lot rappers would rap over. Like that early Rap a Lot production often used like 70s rock as like for samples and stuff like that. Obviously, the most famous example of that would be "Gangster of Love." When they used Steve Miller Band, and then later they used Leonard Skinner for the reissue. But yeah. Dope beat, definitely something a bit different on this album. Definitely livens things up a bit, sort of mixes things up a bit. And yeah, it's a dope, dope track, again, just, it when he says those lines, he's so, fun to listen to, no more faking and taking my snaps. Sorry, fool, go and step in and get the straps. Like he does gangster shit in such a way that's just sounds so great from his voice. And no one, he's another example of like, can't think of anyone who sounds like MC. Like no one, not even close. He's one of those guys. I love to hear him cuss. When it's
hell yeah.
so when he says punk bitch, I'll mop that ass up this way, just like how he says it, it's just so dope.
All that shit.
Yeah, like he says on this track, another fucking motherfucker in an early grave, like just it's so dope. Yeah, it's another dope song on here. Yeah, the production kind of helps it out a lot and sort of makes it feel unique compared to the rest of the tracks on the album for sure. But yeah, another dope one. Dead Man Tell No Tales, or No Lies rather. Yeah, dope track for sure.
Love that shit. Now one of my favorite songs on the album, for sure, man. Into Deep, which was Scarface, Ghetto Boys, Rap a Lot Records. Ace sets it off, spitting gangsterisms. His presence on the mic was always dope, especially on this track. Scarface is so raw on here. I love it. Mr. Scarface for the 9-deuce. Niggas packing 9s. Fuck your bitch. I pack a 9 too.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
So fucking hard. Scarface talks about a drug deal that went down, and he got help from 8, and they bodied some task force agents in the process. The cops go after them. After that, absolutely one of my favorite joints on the album. It might be top 3. Got to go through the album later on after the review. But yo, Into Deep fucking hard. Love this song so much.
Yeah, it's a great song. Yeah, great storytelling from both of them. And really cool to have Scarface on here. And, this is, between this and the G-Rap album that came out that year, it's like, these were Scarface's probably like first big features, really. Because this is, before he blew up as a solo artist, at this point, he still only had Mr. Scarface's back. He was still very much seen as a ghetto boy rather than his own artist, his own artist yet. And yeah, great song. I love the production on here. Just, simple but really kind of eerie. Definitely sets the vibe. And like you said, MC8, he starts off, great. Like he normally does. Just does a really great job of kind of setting the scene. And then Scarface, yeah, he comes in, just crazy hard verse. Yeah, just I love the chemistry between them both, and just a great storytelling. I love when it says towards on his last verse where he says, got the Glocks all cocked, let the fools keep coming. Scarface got the motherfucking pump under the seat. I just love that. Yeah, really cool to hear have Scarface on here, and definitely that kind of like Southwest connection, which was very strong throughout the 90s. Yeah, great song.
I absolutely love that Sauce magazine cover in the low with fucking Spice. That shit is amazing.
Yes,
93?
absolutely.
Yeah. Love that shit. I think Unc used to have that too. She's hard. All right. Next, we get Who's Fucking Who? Tim Dog fucking smoke right here. Hey, going at Tim Dog on here. I love how they sample Tim Dog's voice saying it. It goes
Oh, it's so funny, yeah.
It's so fucking hard. Tim Dog in the biker shorts. That shit's hard. He talks about Tim Dog trying to make a come up, doing the fuck Compton gimmick. South Bronx, bullshit city. That shit is fucking hard.
Again, sampling the album we reviewed last week.
Yep. BDP.
It's funny how it all links together, yep.
I know. Yeah, that's Who's Fucking Who. That's what I got for that.
Yeah, this is great. This is really great. This pretty short, but it does everything that it needs to do. And of course, Tim Dog in 91, 92, he was going at everyone on the West Coast, more or less. Apart from Ice Cube and Ice-T, I think those were like the two that he was cool with. I think he named type, but like everyone else, the rest of NWA and DJ Quick and MC8, he had an issue of all of them, and of course, all the West Coast rappers fired back, and yeah, this is a great song. Yeah, just love the use of samples, making it sound like what I love is that during the verses, or during the verse, there's only one verse. I like that it has Tim Dog. I think the sample of Tim Dog saying "yeah" in the background, so it sounds like he's agreeing with like the shit that's been said against him. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's a dope verse from it, and dope song overall. Yeah, it's pretty funny, and it's a good example of like sampling in like a diss record, how it can be pretty dope to use like their records against them, for sure. I'm sure like that's probably maybe not the best move, and I'm sure like Tim Dog could probably like fire back with like a lawsuit or something if he really wanted to. But yeah, in terms of like entertainment value, enjoy it a lot for sure.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Yep. The boy ain't shit.
Tim Dog in the biker shit. Oh, that shit's hard, bro. All right, next we get This Is a Gang. Raw shit. I love the line when he says, I saw your homie 3 months ago, so where's the fucking retaliation? That's so cold-blooded. I love that shit. So hard. Love that line. One of my favorites on the album. Just the authentic gangbanging gangster shit. So I feel I gotta warn you, me and my crew kill fucking Transformers. That's crazy. It's a hard-ass line. But the Compton niggas bucking down fucking Autobots and shit, bro. Shit's hard. I love that shit.
Yep, basically, yeah, the Transformer line kind of saying like, these people change their motives and their allegiances so quickly. It's like, nah, if you're not loyal, then you're gonna get it, kind of thing.
That's a good way of breaking it down, because in my mind, I'm thinking something about blasting fucking Optimus Prime down, saying that's so gangster. But yeah, that's a good way of putting
it. Yeah. Yeah, this is a dope track. It sort of uses that EPMD sample, that doo-doo, and kind of flips that. Very dope song. It's never just hard track for me. Like when he says, hand me the damn 38 so I can set the score straight and let the enemy meet his fate. You know what I mean? It's dope. Just again with his voice and his delivery, just little lines like that just sound so good. And yeah, it's a really, really really good song. And again, uses NWA sample as well, of course, with that. This is a gang, from Gangsta Gangsta. So yeah, dope track. And maybe not like a super highlight, but it's still dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No whack stuff on this album, that's for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's another really dope track on the album for sure. Got nothing bad to say about it whatsoever.
Fuck yeah. The greatest album in my eyes, like you said earlier.
Hmm.
Then we get Hood Rat. He talking about a straight grimy hoe that goes around just sucking and fucking everybody. I like the line, just like Bushwick said, yeah, she's on another level. Shout out to We Can't Be Stopped right there.
He had a lot of
Yeah,
love for the Ghetto Boys. Yeah.
yeah, he did. That's amazing. That's the way it is. That's the way it goes. Sucking up nuts like water from a garden hose. That's all that shit cracks me up. But yeah, Hood Rat, kind of like I don't call it a sex song, but just breaking down grimy, nasty hoes.
Yeah, I mean it's the closest thing you'll get to a sex song.
Yeah, on this album, that is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good song. I like the production on it a lot. It's got that kind of nice, kind of like saxophone-ish kind of
Yeah,
instrument on there, and the kind of like smooth kind of bass line on there. I really like the production on it. It's kind of the highlight of the song for me, and it does fit the subject matter pretty well too. Um, yeah, it's not like one of my ultimate favorites, but it's still pretty good. And I appreciate the fact that it's like not just a sex song. Instead, it's kind of like a look at like, how some women out there behave. You know what I mean? And they think that this is the way to be, and it's really not. You know what I mean? It's pretty terrible. But
yeah.
yeah, it's a good song. I definitely like it. Yes, it's not one of my ultimate favorites, but some good lines in there too. I like when he says, some sin Irish brew and the bud, you can work this, turning tricks like a clown in a circus. You know what I mean? Some pretty dope lines like that on there. But it's not like a ultimate favorite on the album. But that production is fire. I love it. It's very good.
Fuck yeah. I just seen a crazy take on Twitter. I'm sorry.
Oh god.
Shout out to my nigga Nick. But my nigga said that he preferred Sundubi over Be Real. Oh my god. I love you, Nick.
What?
Yeah. He's like, am I the only one that
Yes.
prefers Sundubi over Everlasting? I'm sorry, I had to mention it on the show.
I don't think Sandubu would even agree with that.
Oh man. No. Nick was on the Outcast episode we did years and years ago. He's a good dude, but no, he's bugging. Oh, now I can't find my track for.
We're on track 13.
Okay. That really baffled my fucking mind. All right. We get Niggas Struggle. Absolutely love the joint. Ain't rhyming about the harsh realities of living in Compton, robbing in the streets, etc. Love the track. Straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, when I revisited this album earlier,
Yeah.
this is one of the songs I forgot about. Like, nothing against the song. I just, for whatever reason, I completely just, forgot about it. It happens, there's 18 tracks on the song. But when I listened to it, I was like, damn, this song's really good. I
Yeah.
really like this one. Yeah.
Great.
Love the production on here. It's kind of slow and smooth, and it has that. I'm always a big fan of like vocals in the background of the beat. Oh, it's really good, really soulful, really nice. And yeah, like you said, lyrically, it's just kind of talking about the kind of hardships that people go through living in the hood and all that. Talking about like teenage pregnancy and like, yeah, just like dealing with money and all that kind of stuff. And it's just done really well. Love the production on this joint. It's one of my favorites on the album, production wise, for sure. And it might be up there as one of my favorite songs in the album. It definitely, that's what I love about revisiting an album sometimes. Sometimes there's like those songs, like, this is, I pretty much, as each song came on for this album, I was like, oh yeah, this is this song. Oh yeah, this is this song. This was the one I was like, I don't really remember this one, but yeah, it's really good. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's a great song.
It's funny how that can happen sometimes where you're like, you've maybe listened to the album multiple times before, but like for whatever reason, a certain song didn't hit you, but then all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is really good. It just hits you all of a sudden. That's kind of what I experienced with this song. Yeah, love it.
Fuck yeah, so good. Next we get I Got to Get Over. He talks about robbing a drug deal and having a grimy bitch set him up. Clean up your set as I spray you with the street sweeper. I love that shit. He talks about the cops that catching up with him in the long run. Mad dope. Dope track. I fucks with it heavy.
Yeah, it's another dope track. Yeah, yeah, definitely gangster. You know, call me a little sneaky little devil. Rush his ass to the spot as I clock him with the shovel. Love that. Yeah, loads of really cool cool lines on here. And again, he gives a shout out to Scarface on this track. You know, like my homie Scarface, I got the money and the power. You know, I love that stuff. And yeah, it's a dope song. Again, it's maybe not my top 3 or my top 5, but it's another very dope, solid album cut. And yeah, it's like another song, but you know, probably wouldn't really get mentioned normally if you see people talk about this album, but it's still a very dope song. And again, you know, MC8 at this point was just, to me, like, even though like this is only like the 3rd album, like to me he's like an OG at this point already in his career. Like definitely like just kind of cemented himself as like a legend at this point. It's you know, it's crazy to think as well of Compton's Most Wanted, you know, the first 3 albums, you know, the 3 albums that, you know, people know about really, they all came out a year after another as well, just cranking them out. And, you know, they got better with each one, in my opinion. So,
yeah. All 90, 91, 92.
Yeah, I mean, people back then, you know, that was hard back then. It's not like these days when you can, you know, crank out music on your computer. It's like, you know, studio time. You know, you had to book it for a start and you had to pay for it. It was expensive.
And the record label might not want you with a new album. You know how niggas is. You know, you gotta all that consideration. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, very dope. It's you know, when I listen to songs like this, I just think, you know, he was at this point already a veteran in my mind. You know, that's how I put it. You know,
definitely. Let the work rate he was going. Fuck yeah. Next we get one of my favorites in here. So smooth. Use a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Spitting game about how grimy, disrespectful bitches are. I love those use a bitch vocals. So fucking dope.
Yeah.
It giving smoke to the hoes that did him wrong and dirty and shit like that. So fucking dope. Call the fucking grimy bitches out 8. Dope track. I fucks with it. Smooth. Gangster shit. Loves it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree exactly with you. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, for me on this album, I love the smooth beats the most. It's really strange. Like,
yeah.
Between this and like the Nigga Struggling track and the Who Took Me Under, it's like, I love all these kind of smooth tracks. You know what I mean? Sounds great for it. And yeah, again, just really fits the subject matter really well on this track. Yeah, it's a really, really dope song. Again, incredibly consistent, but at the same time, like, there's enough variety on there to like keep it interesting. You know, it never gets boring. And yeah, it's just, you know, again, he's kind of flexing like some of his storytelling muscle on this, you know, the track as well. And just yeah, another great song on this album for sure.
Fuck yeah. Use a bitch. Now we get Another Victim. I love the production on this song. Dope as fuck. My favorite line is snapping niggas' necks like a fucking butterfinger. Hard as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a little fat kid rant. Fat kid shit. Early 90s. I got a butterfinger for the first time. It was my favorite candy bar. Now they changed the recipe and it fucking sucks. It's terrible. Wow. Yeah, it's nasty as fuck. Shout out to the old school butterfinger shits, the Simpsons and all that. But yeah, that line was hard. Ain't so raw in here. Nigga, fuck Compton. Fool, fuck your mama. I think that shit's so hard.
Like, Tim Dog, yeah.
Yeah, so hard. A talks about keeping it straight, you know, gutter on here, not selling out. You got some smoke for the sellouts. Dope ass song. I love it. Grimy shit. Disrespectful to Tim Dog. Took me years to fucking like Tim Dog. I wasn't fucking with him. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you whatsoever on that.
Yeah, dude, this is my favorite rappers at the time. A lot of my favorite rappers, you know. So yeah. But yeah. Yeah, Another Victim, fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's another dope track. It's not one of my ultimate favorites, but it's still a very dope song, you know. just incredibly consistent. And yeah, not really much more to add to it. I like the production on it too. Kind of has that, again, slightly kind of like 70s kind of vibe. I don't know, just with the some of the samples on here. But yeah, very dope song. Another Victim. Yeah, just it doing what he does best. Just love his hard bars and just his ability to write a beat as well is just phenomenal. So yeah, another really great song.
Fuck yeah, so dope, man. Now we get the official like last song on the album, like actual song, and it's Death Wish 2. Man, I love all the Scarface samples in the beginning. Get the Goodfellas as well.
Yep.
Like, you die, motherfucker. All that shit, so dope. DJ Quick dish right here. 8 hates punk ass perm wearing pussies. Fucking so hard, bro. I love it. Shit is raw. Last verse, don't curse, nigga. Fuck that. I love cursing in my rap. I hate that censorship bullshit. So that's the line that stuck out for me. Absolutely incredible song. A few years later in 1995, I think, I hate to say it, but Quick decapitated 8 on Dollars and Cents. 94 actually, because Murder Was a Case, but
that's right.
Incredible. Great great song. Death Wish 2.
Yeah, I love the production on it too. It's just kind of eerie, kind of spooky. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I can't. It's again. Remember when we were talking about EPMD and the Jane tracks? Like I don't remember all the Death Wishes off by heart, but this is probably my favorite one. I really like this one.
Likewise.
Yeah, it's great. It's just hella pissed on this song. Right, no future in your frontin', smoke your ass like a motherfucking blunt. Damn, I hate you, punk. Like, just how he says that, just so angry and gutter. And I love when he says, so it's the second call, they're all sorry. Punk motherfuckers that's out like a Atari. I love that. Yeah, it's great song, great this over that kind of eerie, kind of spooky production. And yeah, it's dope, you know what I mean? And I like, I know some people don't like the kind of like subliminal style dissing, but I think this is that done right, you know what I mean? Don't even mention the guy's name, just kind of go at him. Everyone knows who you're talking about, just kind of like, don't give them the publicity of their name or whatever, just be like, keep it down low, I think that's a fly way to do it if you can do it like that. And yeah, Death Wish 2 is a great song, for sure. One of my favorites on the album, probably, too.
Absolutely. I love that shit, man. All right. Now we get the last track, just kind of like a shout-out track. Music to Drive By. He's just shouting out his homies in the industry, MCs and groups from all regions, really, Get shout out to fucking Pac on here, Digital Underground, motherfucking, who else, Ross? You remember?
DJ Pooh.
Gangstar, right?
Yeah, Gangstar, yeah.
Yeah.
Busting your shit in the 9 deuce, Gangstar, something like that. He says, yeah. That's pretty dope. Because he said, when he was working with DJ Premier, like he said that they went way back, and I believe that they probably knew each other back then in like 92, so that's probably why they shouted them out like that. It's pretty cool. Shout out to like Ice Cube and like Yo Yo and Lynch Mob and Cam, like all that whole crew. And yeah.
Cam and Threat, right? Something like that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Bushwick Bill and Scarface, of course, they got a shout out. And yeah, it's really dope. Just kind of like a smooth kind of beat. And I mean, I dig shout out tracks if they're kind of just a nice way to end off the album. You don't have to listen to it if you don't want to, but I think it's kind of fun to hear who they like at the time, who they were listening to. That's always interesting to hear. And it's a dope track, you know what I mean? And it is a nice way to end off the album, sort of like a nice kind of calm down after Death Wish 2, you know what I mean? It's just a nice kind of chill song to listen to. You can just kind of relax, as the album kind of wraps up.
Hell yeah. Compton's Most Wanted, Music to Drive By, 3rd album. We can do every episode. We give top 3 songs and the Sauce Classic mic rating. So I'm going to give this 4.5 mics. And it's their best album. It's a Compton thing. And Straight checking them are no fucking slouches either. I love those albums. You got the chill on those. But yeah, it came correct. Production is amazing. 92 is a great year in hip hop. This is one of the greatest albums came out that year. 30 years, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3 songs. Hood Took Me Under. That's just amazing. Incredible. Into Deep with Scarface. And then the third track gotta be Jack Mode. I had it in my head all fucking day. So there you go. CMW. Here's the drive-by. 1992. 4.5 mics for me.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing really wrong with the album, but it's I don't know, it's not quite 5. You know what I mean? It's just got tough competition with some other albums, which are 5s in my opinion. You know, it's not quite up there with like The Chronic or something, for example. You know, but it's a really good album. You know, I love the production all the way through, kind of dark and eerie all the way through for the most part. Even the songs were a little bit more kind of smooth. There's a slight kind of like street, kind of like dark, you know, nighttime kind of feel to them, which I really dig. And of course, you know, on the first album they had, you know, late night hype. You know what I mean? So they've always kind of had that kind of sound. Really great kind of nighttime, kind of dusk music. You know, when the sun is setting down, it's kind of what I picture with this album. And you know, MC8, you know, with Chill not around, you know, MC8 steps up, and yeah, he was phenomenal. You know, like he proved that, like, you know, he was ready to be a solo artist. You know, at this point, he pretty much was a solo artist. You know, along with, of course, you know, the other guys giving him the beats. You know, DJ Mike T and you know, the Unknown DJ and DJ Slip. You know what I mean? They all, you know, came correct in the production. But yeah, it was definitely like the star of the show. And you know, even We Come Strapped and Death Threats, they actually say on the cover, you know, featuring CMW, you know, still kind of give him props. But yeah, definitely cemented his legacy with this album. Definitely like an iconic part of his career. This and like We Come Strapped are usually like the 2 albums that always get praised by him but the most. And I, you know, can't disagree with that. They're both excellent albums, you know. And yeah, it's a really, really great album. My favorite, Compton's Most Wanted album as well. And you know, that's no knock on the previous 2, but this one, for me, it's just it's so consistent. You know, every song on it's great. There's nothing on here if it's bad at all. Like not even a little bit. You know, just really, really good all the way through. Yeah, and a great mixture of like subject matter too. You know, it's mostly like hard kind of gangster shit, but like there's enough other stuff on there to keep it fresh, you know. And yeah, it's just a really, really good album, and it reeks of Compton. You know what I mean? Like no one represented Compton as well as MC8, just as far as like authenticity and like putting you there is concerned. You know what I mean? Like DJ Quick was great in a different way. You know what I mean? He made, you know, music that was often kind of funky and kind of like upbeat, which is dope. But this is like that kind of, like I said, kind of nighttime kind of vibe. It's just, you know, different sides of the coin, so to speak. You know what I mean? Just yeah, really, really cool. And yeah, my top 3 songs in this album would be Who Took Me Under. You know what I mean? That's one of those songs I've heard so many times and I never get up and get tired of that one. And yeah, that's my number 1 for sure. And then my other 2 tracks would probably be maybe that Compton for Life. You know what I mean? Just love how kind of dark and sinister that song sounds. And I'm gonna go with that Niggas Struggling, that track 13. You know, that one kind of you know, took me by surprise when I listened to it earlier. Like, yeah, I really, really love that song. But yeah, the rest of the album's great. You know, no weak tracks and very easy listen to. And one of the greatest album covers. I know we talked about it before, but one of the greatest album covers of all time.
I was about to bring that up too. Yeah, that cover is amazing. Got Aiden Slip in the fucking low, but it's like an above shot, so you see the CD in the back with the fucking ratchet. That shit goes hard.
And it's like a clever sort of play on words as well. You know, music to drive by. You know,
yes.
It's so good.
Use this. You want to spray some niggas up? It's a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. Hard. Amazing album.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have it. Chat seems kind of dead, so we can end it here, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for stopping by. And what do we have next time?
I think next time, I don't want to. This is going on the top of my head, so it might be different, y'all. You'll find out on Instagram and Twitter when I post it. But looking like Public Enemy, Yo Bum Runs the Show. 35 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But before I get out here, I'll read Antoine's comic. I got the cassette tape for my nephew back in 2019, and it's a bootleg tape. And I bought the CD last year, 2001, for $6. Real cheap. The true definition of gangster rap. Period. Compton at its finest. I agree.
Yeah, that was a good thing about this album. It used to. Yeah, I mean, it probably is still pretty cheap, which is good.
Yeah. I think the most expensive one was the first record. It's Compton.
Yeah, that's right. I had to get the Japanese version of that.
I got the Japanese joint too.
Yeah.
All right, people. See y'all niggas next week, man. Hope you enjoyed it. We had a double show for y'all, so go back in the archives to watch the joint with me and Ricardo and Steve. Top 10 sophomore hip hop albums. So, yeah.
Have a good one.
Peace, y'all.